Hello everyone, Kuneho here. The Karters is finally in its closed beta. For a lot of racing fans, including myself, I've been waiting for this for about a year, maybe even more now. And I am quite excited to play it. I know you guys in the Discord especially have been excited to play it because in the past couple of hours you guys have been spamming the Discord chat as if it were Twitch chat, but I don't blame you. The game, even from the menu, looks pretty sick. So this is going to be a near blind playthrough. Aside from the couple minutes that I've tried out, the controls and just to see if my recording setup was working, this is pretty much a blind playthrough. From the menu you could already jam out to the music. The music's not too bad, the graphics are pretty solid even though the menu images themselves are blurred, but we'll get to those in a sec. Adventure, local, and online modes are not yet finished from what I could tell. Single player and leaderboards are out. And why would leaderboards be out if only the single player is here? Well, the current mode that is out to test is Time Attack, which is just you on the track alone. So I'm guessing you could still sort of race people in your own little niche as long as you share times with each other. Now before we start out on our first race, I just wanted to point out that some of you have been complaining that the controls have been reversed, like left is left, right is right. So when I was setting things up earlier, I made sure to go to the options and check my controls. I'm using a 360 controller. And just make sure that everything is mapped correctly, because what I did notice was that left and right were mapped to opposite ends by default, which is probably where people were getting the problem from. So without further ado, let's get into the game. Time Attack. 5 characters: Puma, Gorilla, Minion, Snowman, Meerkat. You can see all these in the promotional images. Personally, I would probably be going Puma. Determined to be the best. He seems to be the Mario of the series, just your typical racing game protagonist for when adventure mode does hit. Gets angry pretty quick. Now the thing to note is that this game has been proudly touted as being inspired by Crash Team Racing and to a lesser extent games like Mario Kart. Gorilla in his design actually reminds me of Rillaroo from Crash Bash. Minion just kind of looks like a little me racer, little alien guy. Aha! Snowman, proud but kind of cold. It doesn't seem like any of these characters have stats, which is both a good and a bad thing. Good thing is that you can play whoever you want without having to feel like you're not playing the best character. Bad thing is, well, unless you're invested in the characters, if you like all of them, or if you happen to not resonate with any of these characters, well, you just kind of have to pick a character because none of them really offer any extra boost over the other. Like, it doesn't seem like one provides more turning, but we could definitely check that out in a little bit. I guess last thing to note is that the Meerkats both look and kind of sound like Parappa the Rapper, which is kind of funny. So, let's get racing. That's sort of interesting. Okay, so it's kind of weird that you could sort of go to a non-highlighted space, like pressing left on Puma takes you to something that's not highlighted and that you can't pick. Same thing with meerkats. If you go down, as you could hear, I'm moving my controller, but none of the bottom squares are actually highlighted. Just a small thing. Now, as for the tracks, there are 2 tracks it seems, Jangle, and Canyon West. They both look pretty gorgeous from the images alone. The one thing I would suggest to the Karters devs is perhaps make it a little more obvious that the jungle is indeed this track. Like, yes, you could tell that this is the jungle track and the one on the right is not the canyon track, but the way it's positioned, you know, this almost makes it seem like this is an unnamed track while the one to the right was Canyon. It's not until you actually go onto Canyon that you see that that is Canyon West. So we'll be going through both of the tracks, and I guess for the second track we'll go through another character to see if they drive differently. Alright, so we're not going for the fastest time just yet. The right button, where the circle or the B button would be, is the pause button, which is interesting because in the options menu it told me that start was the menu. No rear view just yet. There is no brake, but then you could reverse by holding back on the stick. Right trigger, as I said, it lets you jump. Left trigger doesn't do anything until you go to the CTR style drift, in which, when that meter fills, you press the button, which will give you a mini turbo boost. Oh, hey, that was actually a little interesting thing. These logs didn't seem to have any collision. Or at least going in, there's a bit of weirdness that happened there. Oh well. So fans of CTR will already be pretty familiar with how this drift system works. It's mostly the same, aside from when you hop from one drift to another, like drifting to the right and switching to the left. Unlike Crash Team Racing, when you switch sides during a drift, you actually hop into the turn, which does seem a little weird at first. And in Crash Team Racing it was a little offset by the fact that you could brake in the air and almost immediately adjust your momentum, like with minute changes. Ramps seem to have the Mario Kart style tricking system. Even if you don't really have that much momentum, you could press the hop button to do a little trick indicated by that little ping. You know, even without the little brake button, the drift mechanics and the turning is pretty smooth. The one thing to note is that, another note for the developers, when you drift, Oh, that looked weird. In Crash Team Racing, or like whenever you're racing, you look at your character primarily. There's really not too much to... you can't really take extended looks at the speedometer on the right or to your map in a kart racer. That said, as you notice, the time to press the boost button while you're drifting is when that meter on the bottom turns red. In Crash Team Racing, it was explained in-game that you could also use the color of the exhaust in order to find out when you have to press the boost button. The exhaust changes from a gray color to a black color, and then when that happens, you press the boost button. For Karters, the 3 boosts are definitely there, and you could tell that they actually work as intended. Though I feel like there should be some kind of visual indicator that you should be pressing a button there. Like in the sense of Mario Kart, when you drift for a while, your tires start sparking, and that's to let you know that, oh, if I release the drift here, well, that I'm gonna get a boost, I'm gonna get something out of this. For the more novice players, see, as you can see, there's a little dust effect behind, but it doesn't differentiate. Like the subtle dust effect doesn't happen, or does not happen. You know, like whether or not it's time to boost. I'm only able to boost pretty consistently because, well, the timing is the same from Crash Team Racing. It's interesting, I think, that even though the time trial is over, the game has turned into like a little free play. I would think in that sense, there could be 2 different time trial modes, like in simulation racers. There could be the standard 3-lap time trial for like a race time trial, or a per lap time trial, where then you just you just try to make the fastest possible lap without being efficient with laps 2 and 3. That way there would be also more of a gameplay reason to have this sort of endless loop of racing. Ooh, that was instant. Falling off the cliffs immediately puts you on. Oh, wait a second, it actually completed the jump for me? Let's do one more lap, and then I'll go to the Canyon West track. There you go, I'm getting the hang of it. The camera gets kind of jumpy if you keep hopping, which is a minor thing. It's a very minor, but okay, so you jump right here, you fall, and you're on the other side of the jump, I believe. That's right there on the left could be, or the one on the right could be a shortcut. What is this? Oh, hey. That's a big alternate pathway. That is actually pretty neat. Nice winding paths sort of remind me of Crash Nitro Kart, the sequel to Crash Team Racing. While the mechanics weren't nearly as fun to run in Crash Nitro Kart as in Crash Team Racing, the tracks had a lot more variety to it. Alright. That is race 1. And here is another bug. The free play was not intended and is actually a glitch. None of the buttons open up the pause menu and you are just stuck in this racing purgatory for the rest of your life. Talking to trees to get out of your way as you race endlessly. Whoa! Hey. Okay, gonna have to restart the game. Welcome back. So, just restarted the game. You know what? Let's try Meerkats when we try out Canyon West. Remember, this is a closed beta, so it's pretty much our goal as beta testers to not only enjoy the game, but of course to just let the developers know of our thoughts on how things should be, give suggestions, and of course tell them about these bugs. Gotta help them squash them so that the full game isn't glitchy. Alright, Canyon West. This guy doesn't actually look like he's leaning on the car, but he's not falling off from it either. Bet. He opens his mouth every time it jumps. It's kind of fun. What? There's something I noticed. Okay. So, when you collide to a wall, all of a sudden make an abrupt stop, your character is going to sort of make a noise of disapproval. But apparently, at least for Meerkats, maybe for the other characters too, if you just stop and go continuously, the game is going to think that you've hit a wall, and it's going to keep on playing that audio. So I don't know if you could use it to like annoy other players if but no, I'm pretty sure that's a bug. Alright, it's not that easy to break the game. I might try breaking it more later. Oh, hey, there we go. Oh, so the dust from earlier, there is a visual indicator that you boosted, but not when you have to boost. I find it interesting that the game lets you finish the jump. Whoa! Sequence breaks, maybe. The game lets you skips you past where the jump is if you fail to make it across, which is actually pretty friendly. Oh! That's a lap! Did we find a super shortcut? Another thing to test out. Okay. But for the sake of the video, I'm going to be sending it to you guys right now. Meerkat plays pretty much the same as Puma, so I assume all the other characters play pretty much the same. It's a matter of taste rather than looking towards a tier list. Okay. That's something. Oh. Let me just try to see. Lap 3. One last test, and then I will let you guys go. What if, now hear me out here, what if you went, let's say a good distance, let's say right here, using the boost pad. Okay, the boost pads work properly. So I've driven backwards to this point. Is it? Wait, no way. I thought that was gonna make me finish, but no. It actually reversed my lap. That's hilarious. 3, 2. Alright, that's all I'm gonna leave with for you guys this video, but I'm going to keep playing, and I'll probably make another video in just a couple of hours or something detailing any real craziness that I figure out. But until then, thanks for watching, and you know, thank you to 10 Ant Hill for indeed making a Crash Team Racing tribute. And, well, be prepared, because we are breaking your game as we speak. Bye-bye.